starting off this week really excitingly with my Book of the Month subscription box. Came this morning. Skipped last month, but I did not this month. So let's see what I got. As usual, there's a quote on the bookmark, and I'll just let you read it. All right. Now, the book that I chose from the 5 picks for May is one that will probably surprise you, because I read her first book and I only sort of liked it, and that is The Bride Test by Helen Huang. I might read this month because obviously it will work for the Asian Readathon, but also next month there's like a Ghibli readathon, and one of the prompts is to read a contemporary adult romance, and this will work and it should read pretty fast, so I might save it for next month. I'll link that down below, but I don't think there's been an announcement video, so I'll have to link the Twitter, unless they announce it before this video is done being edited. Anyway, that's my pick of the month. And my supplemental ones are With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I really loved The Poet X. This is prose though, whereas The Poet X obviously was in verse. So I'm interested to see how her prose holds up next to her verse writing. It's about like a teen pregnancy and having to navigate that, and the cover's beautiful. Look at that. And last but not least, a book I've been like meaning to get for a while, but it's still quite expensive in store, but not a book of the month, is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I've heard nothing but good things, and that's it. That is everything. More books for my empty shelves, am I right? All right, that's it for me. I will check in later. Bye. Good morning. Oh, that's clear. That's super clear. Good morning. Ooh. Hot mess. It's Wednesday. I didn't really do any updates yesterday because my copy of Aurora Rising came in, and I basically just read for most of the day. I'm like 160 pages in. I was like, maybe I'll get it done before the Jay Kristoff event tonight, but that's just not going to happen, because in about an hour, 2 hours, I have my doctor appointment with the GI. So finally, hopefully I'll get answers about why my stomach is the way it is. Not today, but like eventually. The first step. But yesterday I did get 2 books in the mail. One obviously was Aurora Rising, and the other was, can you see it? I found a hardcover copy of The Bear and the Nightingale, secondhand, but really good condition, because I have the paperback signed and personalized, but sitting next to the other hardbacks has been killing me. So all I have left is the hardback cover of The Girl in the Tower in the UK edition, and technically the other first book cover, because this is like a special one. It's not the one that the UK I think eventually got, if I'm not mistaken. I know that their paperback looks different than this. Regardless, that was the other book I got that I didn't unbox for you guys. So that's it. I will give you my thoughts on Aurora Rising later, but I'm really, really liking it. Like, major Illuminae vibes, and I bet that the audiobook will be just as good as the Illuminae Files audiobooks. I can hear it in my head. In any case, I have to get my kid on the bus, and then eat, and then go to my appointment, and then I got some errands to run, and then I have the event tonight. So, as usual, I always try and take you guys with me, but I don't like to really film while I'm there because it makes me feel awkward and anxious, but I'll see what I can do. All right, bye. So it's Saturday. My video is gonna be crooked. I don't have my setup up here. My kids are fighting in the hallway. I haven't updated like at all this week because I just haven't really been reading a whole lot this week. Anyway, things to update you on. I was at the Jay Kristoff event on Wednesday. That was a lot of fun. He is hilarious. He doesn't think he's hilarious, but he's hilarious. Veronica Roth was amazing at doing the questions and the moderating. She was also really fucking funny. And I felt really bad that I didn't have anything for her to sign because she just kind of sat there afterwards. And I did like the Divergent series a lot when I read it, but I don't own it and I wasn't gonna buy it just for the sake of the event. Anyway, that was the longest pre-signing that I've ever sat in, and it was, I don't know, probably about an hour long that they like joked and answered questions, and it was really great. But because of that, the signing didn't start till past 9 p.m. No, it was past 8. It was like 8:15. And there were over 150 people there. So I brought all of my books because if you look online, it says he'll sign everything, which is technically true. But the caveat is that he'll personalize 1, he'll sign 3. But if you want more signed, you have to get back in line. Also, he did like a thing where if you drove more than 2 hours, you had a kid with you that was under the age of 12, or you have some kind of disability, then you get to skip the line. So I was number 12 in line, but really ended up being like 30 something. And I wasn't about to stay and get all of my books signed because by the time I got up, I think it was past 9:15-ish. And I'm old and have kids and I'm tired. So I got Nevernight, God's Grave, and my copy of Aurora Rising signed, and that was really it was a good experience. Once I got up to, I didn't get to talk to him because once I got up there in line, something went wrong with the girl behind me and the person who worked at the bookstore. They like got into an argument and it was really distracting for Jay and Veronica, so they both were like half focused on that, and next thing I know the books are signed. So I was just kind of like, thank you, and he was like, nice to meet you, and that was the end. And I'm awkward anyway, but I also got a picture, so I'll put that up here. And that's it for that event. But I'm almost done with Aurora Rising. I should be able to finish today, and I'd like to because tomorrow the Bingo-a-thon starts, and I'd like to start The Descendant of the Crane. Plus it's Mother's Day, which means I'm not gonna do shit. And we're going to my mom's for dinner with my sister and stuff, so there's that. I'm really enjoying Aurora Rising. If you like the Illuminae files, I really don't see you not liking this. It has a lot of the same feels, both because of the sci-fi and because of the characters and their personalities. You can tell that Jay and Amy wrote this. Like, if I had to blind guess, I would guess it was them because of the Illuminae files. But it's different enough that I'm not like, oh, it's just another Illuminae files. It's about a girl that goes into like cryogenic freezing, and I mean, I think it was cryogenic freezing, and her like everyone on board dies except her, and she's found by Squad 312, the leader of it, and the Alpha, and it's like 220 years later, so she's 237 years old, though she's 17. And there's something about her that's like, you know, that's as much as I can say without spoiling it, but you get, each chapter is like a different character's perspective, and Jay said at the event that he and Amy split character duties and wrote, you know, one wrote 3, one wrote 4, whatever the case is, but he doesn't want to say like who did it, which I get, but I feel like I know. I feel like I can tell who's responsible for what character, just because of Nevernight, and like the humor that's in Nevernight is very specific to Jay, and so I can see which characters kind of carry that, plus like his writing style. He has this way of taking words and dragging them out, you know, so like interesting, and I don't see Amy do that as much, so I always think that like the characters where that happens are Jay's. Really liking it. I'm just in a reading slump as part of my problem. Like, I could have read this in 2 days easily. I read the first 100 and something pages in on Tuesday when it came out, and then I've just like kind of slogged through it, not because I'm not enjoying it, but just because I'm not in the reading state of mind. I'm only like 2 more short stories through 1,000 Beginnings and Endings. That's it. That's all I've been reading. I haven't done anything else. The Bone Witch is at like a standstill at 113. That's the page number. And I don't know. So there we are. That's my update. It's gonna be the lamest vlog ever. Oh, and I went to my doctor on Wednesday, for anybody who cares for an update on that. She doesn't think I need to do anything extensive yet, but we're gonna try medication that I can take whenever I start to feel the sick that I feel sometimes. So we'll see how that works, and then if it doesn't, we'll like look at diet, and then if that doesn't work, then obviously you'll go into more extensive things like colonoscopies. But I'm kind of glad that's not where we started. But the medication is basically for IBS sufferers, so that's where we're starting, and I'm just glad to have like kind of a fallback for the days that I do get that sick. That'll be nice. Anyway, that's my update. I will see you guys when I see I'm about to shower and then try and finish this book. And I hope to celebrate Mother's Day a little bit tonight with just my husband, so I'm thinking I might order dinner. I don't know. We'll see you later. Bye. Just pretending I'm at the concert right now, but I'm not. What's up, guys? It is Sunday. It's Mother's Day. I wish that meant that I got to sleep in, but my kids were up at 6 a.m. so it's almost 8 now. I've been awake for 2 hours. This is the first time you've seen how I got a third shelf and don't have anything to put on it. All those books are like my TBR books, so that's what I've been using it for. Not my TBR cart books, like the ones I'm actively reading this month. Updates. I've been reading slowly. I think I mentioned that I just haven't been in a reading mood lately, and even when I like a book, I just kind of have been chugging through it slowly. I'm watching a lot of BTS music videos, not gonna lie. They're in town this weekend. They did a show last night and tomorrow, and I'm real sad I'm not at either of them. I finished Aurora Rising last night, as I had hoped I would do. I gave it 4 stars after a lot of deliberation. It's probably, I love the cover, 3.5, 4-star for me. Still very good, but I think what I've realized now that I've read Jay's solo work, and I haven't read anything else by Amy Kaufman, but I can tell who's who in writing, and I just think that it's possible that Amy's writing is a little bit too light for me. And by light, I mean that, like, if you've read Nevernight and God's Grave, you know that Jay's pretty ruthless with a lot of stuff that happens, pretty brutal. And Amy's a little bit more gentle about it. And the reason that I can say that also is because in the signing event, Jay talked about it and how the only time they've ever argued about anything was how to wrap up the Illuminae files, because Jay, true to Jay, wanted to kill everybody and Amy did not. And if you've read Obsidio, you know how it ends, and it's not my favorite ending, and now I kind of attribute it to Amy. And I feel like we're seeing a little bit of the same thing here, where like so much could happen, but it's kind of held back to be a little lighter. Also, there was a lot of repetition that was unnecessary in the characters. Almost every single character in this book like falls back on sarcasm to deal with situations that arise, and I'm a very sarcastic person and I really appreciate sarcasm, but I also think that to use it as a plot device amongst multiple characters gets a little bit tired. On top of that, some of the character traits were like harped on a little bit too much. Like Tyler, the alpha, the main squad leader, has dimples that kill basically, and it's kind of beaten over your head. Like you could say it once or twice, maybe even more than that, half a dozen times across the book, but like you don't need to remind me every 20 pages that Tyler has dimples that kill and get like all the girls and get them out of situations and stuff like that. So it's just little nitpicky things that were really a struggle for me. Otherwise, Sci-fi is not my genre, but every once in a while there's a book that I really appreciate in the genre, and this falls into that category. I'm excited to see what happens next. I liked the ending of this. I had an idea of what happened at the end early on. I kind of guessed. So that's the other problem with reading the same author across multiple books, is that you kind of get an idea for like how they twist stories. And I feel like I saw this one coming a little bit because of that. But I also have an idea based on how it ends, what's going to end up happening, or at least one line of the plot. I have an idea of what we're going to see happen with certain characters without getting too spoilery. So my face is super shiny because I just put my like lotioning oil on it. Yuck. Anyway, that said, I did start, it's downstairs, but I have the dust jacket, Descendant of the Crane today, because as well as Mother's Day, it is also the start of Bingo-a-thon. If you saw my TBR video, it's hosted by Ola and Cody and Natasha, and it starts today, goes through I believe the 18th, and I have 2 books on my TBR for it. So Descendant of the Crane is one, and because it's one of 2, because it's one that I wanted to read last month and then put off, but then made it to the TBR this month for Asian Readathon. It's my priority between this and Warcross by Marie Lu is the other one I want to read this week. So we'll see if I have the ability to get that done. As I said, I've been reading very slowly. I am on page 26 as of this morning. When I drank my coffee, I sat and read this, and I'm really loving it. But one of the problems I'm having with books lately is that, like, and it's weird for me because reading books, starting a book is hard for me because I don't already know, you know, I struggle to get into a book. I don't know why. I always have. Starting a new book is exciting, and then I feel like it's overwhelming. And then I get into a story. But lately, I've been really loving books when they start and then struggling through to the end. So hopefully this carries through, the excitement of it carries through, I mean, because I'm enjoying it already. So, like, let's hope. Like The Bone Witch, I've been stuck on. It's over there. You can see the bookmark in it. Nope, other way. Which way am I going? Look at this. You can see the bookmark in it right there. I'm on page 113 for a while, and I put the book aside, and I really liked the first like 40 pages, and then it got boring for me, and I don't know why. In any case, this is about a princess, Princess Hasina, whose father is the king, and he dies, and they decree that it was natural causes, but she doesn't believe it. She thinks someone killed him, and going against the decree and using magic, people that can wield magic, soothers as they're called, is treason. And she decides that that doesn't matter to her. She wants to find out who killed her father and why. So she's basically going to go against everything that her kingdom has ruled to find those answers. And her like best friend and his twin sister are gonna help. So yeah, we'll see. I really love this cover so much. Anyway, I've heard nothing but good things about this, so I'm excited to see. And then lastly, I read another short story in 1,000 Beginnings and Endings, and I don't remember what it is called. I don't know, but it was about a Korean folklore. It took place in an online game, basically, like real life, but also an online gaming community. Think like World of Warcraft, I guess, would be probably the most commonly known comparison. And I loved it. I think it was my favorite story so far in the series compilation of short stories. It's like the 5th or 6th story in. So far, the stories that I like have been grading each story individually out of 5, and then I'll put together like an average to rate the whole book. And nothing has been below 3.5 star for me. So there's been like 2 5 stars, a 4 star, and a couple 3.5 stars. So they've all been very good, very fascinating. I've been trying to read one every couple days. So keeping up on that trend. And we're, almost halfway through the month. It's been a slow month for me. I've read 3 things, so to go over that, I've read Aurora Rising, obviously, by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I've read Shatter Me by Tahari Mafi, and I have read, what was the first book I read this month? I'm blanking like hardcore right now. Oh, and I read Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha I keep saying Nong. I listened to the Chinese interpretation of her last name and tried to like base my pronunciation off that. But all on Booktube, I hear Natasha Nyan, so maybe I'm wrong. It's quite possible. But I read that, which reminds me that for Mother's Day, I did my husband bought a couple books for me. The main package is arriving today, and the reason I thought of it is because he bought me Girls of Paper and Fire because I 5-starred it and I loved it. And the second book will come out this fall, theoretically. I guess it's more winter, but really looking forward to that. So I wanted to own the first book. But yesterday, one of the books came, and that is Haruki Murakami's Colorist Tsukuro Tozaki, and it is one of my favorite Murakamis. So if you don't know where to start with Murakami, this is what I usually suggest, or Kafka on the Shore if you want one of his more well-known books. But I think I mentioned before that I want to collect a lot of his work in these covers that kind of match each other because I really dig them. I want to reread this eventually, probably more of a summer read for me because I'm pretty booked out on my TBR cart. So Girls of Paper and Fire will show up today, plus the other set of books that he bought, which goes against everything I've said about this author in the past. But based on YouTube and Booktube and Twitter, I decided I'm going to try this series, and I'm not going to tell you till I get it and unbox it. But I have spoken of this author before and said that I'll never read any of their work. But we'll see. I basically blame Allie over at Allie Corvair for this because she loved the series and talked about it, and I feel like I've got very similar taste to her, so put it on my wish list, and my husband picked it. So I don't know what I'm doing for most of the day. I'm going to my mom's later with my sister and her family, and my brother's gonna be in Vegas, 19, and just traveling to Vegas, I assume with his girlfriend. I told him don't get married. So I'm sad I won't see him. That's the only thing I have on my agenda besides Game of Thrones today. I don't know what else. I kind of want to get out of the house because Mother's Day isn't always about spending time with your children. But I'd probably just go to Barnes & Noble, let's be real. Okay, bye. All right, I haven't updated all day because like midway through the morning, my husband was like, is BTS actually sold out? And I was like, well, technically, yeah. I think at this point it's just, you know, scalpers and ticket, whatever, resells. And he's like, why don't you check and see if you have anything available and if someone can go with you? And my sister couldn't, but one of my best friends could. So I'm on my way to go see BTS. Living the dream. This is the best Mother's Day that ever happened. All right, I got to drive into the city, which makes me super, super anxious. And I'm doing it alone until I meet her at the parking garage. So the next clips you see might just be concert footage. Sorry if you don't like BTS. All right, see you. Bye. It's still going. Oh my god. What's up, guys? It is now Monday, so this vlog will go up on Tuesday. If you're watching this, it's probably Tuesday. My hair's a mess right now. I'm in a post-BTS high depression right now, mixed with Game of Thrones emotions, so I'm struggling to get through the day. I didn't get home till like past 11 last night, and then my daughter woke up sick, like she was coughing real bad and couldn't sleep, and then so I kind of feel like I'm hungover, but I'm not. I haven't read it all today because we woke up and watched the Game of Thrones episode we missed last night. BTS was awesome, but it was like 40 degrees, less than that with wind chill, plus raining the whole concert outdoors. So my hair, I had 2 braids in, but now it's just this like poofy mess. That's it. So I forgot that I also got the other books in that my husband bought me for Mother's Day. So Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nunn, my own copy. I didn't realize that the hardcover had a little pretty gold foil design of the necklace that breaks open when you're 18. So I got that. I'm excited for the second one. I think ARCs are starting to go out too. And then the one I talked about earlier, which is, I've always said I would never read this author, but changed my mind to try this. And if this is a miss, then the author will never, I'll never read anything else. But so like, well, it's fingers crossed, but it's Cassandra Clare's The Infernal Devices trilogy, because I've heard good things about this one specifically, and I dig the covers, how they match. So it was one of those things that I had on my wish list, and like I never would have pulled the trigger myself, so it was nice that my husband decided on it for a gift, and I'm excited to read it eventually. But as for right now, I'm gonna go shower. This is probably the end of the vlog for the week. Not a whole lot of stuff again. Again, I just haven't been in a reading mood, and I've had a lot of like really high emotion events, and then because of that, the opposite crash with Jay Kristoff, and then BTS concert last night, and also I saw Endgame last week, and it's just been a lot. And it's been raining a lot. If spring could turn to summer, one can hope. All right, that's it for me. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you're new here and want to see more content from me. My social media links are down below. We can be friends on Instagram and Twitter and Goodreads. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope it's less rainy wherever you are. That's it, guys. I'm gonna go nurse this like slight depression by taking a shower and maybe reading and maybe making some food. I don't know.